morning, everyone. Welcome to this morning's ERG Coffee Chat. My name is Etienne Joseph, but you can call me E. I'll be moderating today's call. I've been with Corning for almost 7 years, starting off as a recruiter supporting life sciences. Then I moved over into environmental and optical, and then transitioned to my current role on the campus and events team in 2015. In my current role, I lead all undergrad campus initiatives for the company. Just a few housekeeping notes. So everyone will be placed on mute, so we ask that you remain on mute for the duration of the presentation. Also, we'd love for this to be as interactive and as engaging as possible, so feel free to direct any questions to the chat. If you're not familiar with the chat function, when you move your mouse, you hover your mouse, a taskbar will pop up at the bottom of your screen with 8 icons. The chat function will be the third icon from the right that looks like a thought bubble. Last but not least, we highly encourage video from everyone, so feel free to uncover your cameras and join us. Now, diversity and inclusion are integral to Corning's belief in the fundamental dignity of the individual. In fact, it's one of Corning's 7 core values. We're committed to providing an inclusive environment where all employees can thrive. A direct quote from Wendell Weeks, who's the CEO of Corning, is, we depend on diversity of ideas, experiences, and perspectives to develop solutions to tough problems, identify opportunities for growth, and unleash new capabilities that make a positive difference in the world. So with that, I'd like to introduce our presenter, Prakash Gajendran, and he'll be leading today's coffee chat over the EDGE ERG, which stands for Ethnically Diverse Group of Employees. Prakash, the floor is yours, my friend. Take it away.
Thank you. Hear me okay?
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm going to share my screen.
All right.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. A little bit of background. I was born in India, born and raised, and I came over to US back in 1999 for my graduate studies. I came here for my doctorate, and then I also obtained a business degree later on. So I chose Corning because, for the company that's been around for so many years, when a lot of other companies innovate, like Xerox or Kodak, they all perished, right? And Corning is a company that continually innovates and brings new products that are actually life-changing in a way, right? And Corning also offers a lot of opportunities to grow and learn within the company. There are, I always tell my friends and colleagues that Corning is almost like a multiple company within one umbrella, right? So you can work in different divisions. They all are actually different, almost different businesses. You can see that from my experience. I came to Corning in January or April of 2006, and I was in different roles as I was growing within Corning. But the important thing to know is, I covered like 3 different businesses, 3 different divisions. Even though my background was all on automotive emissions, that's why I started in the Corning Environmental Technologies. But I was able to move to, for example, CSM in Gorilla Glass. I don't know how many of you know that it's a household name now, Gorilla Glass. And it was glass, and I had no idea what glass was other than it's on my window in my cars and at home. So that's the kind of opportunities you expect in a company like Corning, right? And I've held various roles, starting with the technical roles, then moving into the commercial organization, kind of application engineering gives you that, being in the commercial group, but also using your core technical background. And then went into a product line management role, which is purely commercial. So I want to talk a little bit about, I won't spend a lot of time on these slides, but you can read through. But I want to say who we are as Edge. As Etienne mentioned earlier, we are ethnically diverse group of employees. It's open for all employees, and it mainly comprises people whose ancestry, belongs to like anywhere from Asia, the Pacific Island, or the Latin American heritage. It's pretty much covers a very broad group of people. And our mission is to overcome the organizational barriers, especially for ethnic groups, minority groups. We want to help them achieve their full potential, and also create an environment where, the diversity actually contributes to Corning's success. So you heard a little bit of what our chairman always talks about diversity. So it's kind of you can see that how each of the ERGs have that mission as well. We have three things that we always want to achieve. One is to make sure that our members are able to achieve what they want in terms of their professional development. At the same time, help them achieve their career goals, advance in whatever area that they are interested in, also not only based on their interest, but also their skill level. And also reducing the attrition of ethnic minority by making sure that job satisfaction is something that everyone is entitled to. So our stakeholders, obviously, Corning, the corporate, is one of the stakeholders. Our members. We also interact with Corning employees, which also include like non-members. Right? It doesn't have to be the members of Edge, and also the local community, because we do a lot of things partnering with various other groups to help the local community. Here's a typical one-pager that you might have seen for other ERG groups, but for us, we hit a big milestone last year. It was a 20th anniversary. So this group was formed about 20 years ago in 1999. Sorry, and it was great to have this journey of 20 years with our many leaders who actually held the leadership position come and talk about what they saw and how they have seen this group evolve as well as the company evolve. And it was very, very enlightening. And we talked about the objectives. We want to make sure that we increase the awareness of diversity across the globe. We want to make sure that we have some influence on the professional development, so our members or employees can achieve their full potential. And we also want to make sure that we are bringing up, new leaders, both within Edge, but also in Corning, within Corning. Right? Corning cares a lot about leadership, so you can see that it's kind of built in our objectives as well. And we also want to help recruit and retain good talents, with covering diverse experiences as well as backgrounds. Right, we do a lot of events, working with other groups. We bring like dialogue with the international leaders, where we bring leaders in a very high leadership position within Corning to come and tell their story on how did they succeed what are the challenges they faced, and how did they tackle it? This would, help people kind of understand, if they have a desire to become a leader, what would it take to be a leader, and what kind of qualities you need. At the same time, what is so unique about being from a certain ethnic group, and is there something that you can actually leverage, based on your background, right? How do you use your diversity actually to grow within the company, but also help the company grow? I want to share a little bit of demographics. This is a little dated, but it's still direction is still accurate. We have, within the Corning Valley, as well as the whole Corning Incorporated, dominated by folks from Asia. We have Hispanics. We have the Native Americans. We have American Indians, and also other ethnic groups. And we have pretty much greater than 70% of our members have a higher education. You can see doctorate and above, master's, bachelor's, cover almost like 80 to 85%. So we have a good mix of backgrounds, not only in terms of their geographical location or cultural differences, but also in educational background as well. So that was a very quick overview. I know we want to keep this more interactive dialogue, so I would be open to any questions or comments. E, you're on mute, I think.
All right, sorry about that, guys. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
I was double muted. I was muted on the WebEx, and my headset was muted as well. Sorry about that. So we actually do have some questions that came in over the chat. The first one, Prakash, is how has the Edge ERG helped you develop your career at Corning?
Yes. So, I've been a member for a long time. One of the things that we do get when you join the company, part of your orientation is you get exposed to these employee resource groups, right? There are various groups, and people can be part of two different groups. It's fine. So I joined Edge not right away, but a few years later, and I've attended a lot of events, especially in terms of when they had uh, the dialogue with international leaders. And that was something that was very interesting to see people coming from different backgrounds and understanding what would it take. We all, most of us would have read many books, about how to become a leader or how to grow within a company. But you have to understand the culture of the company, because your own cultural differences is one thing, but also every company has its own culture, right? And understanding that and understanding how to navigate. And for me, it was coming over your cultural barrier. For example, for me, coming from India, respect is something, if somebody's older than you kind of have a lot of respect for them. And if you're sitting in a meeting, sometimes you tend not to express your opinion because you might think that as disrespectful. But actually, through these events and also some professional development courses that Edge has sponsored over the years, you understand that that's not the culture here. Not only the U.S. culture, but also within Corning. If you don't express your opinion, how are you going to let people know that what you're capable of, to show what you're actually how much value you bring, right? So that was something that actually helped me to kind of get over that. And also, when you are participating in these events, you have access to those leaders. Not only during those sessions, you can actually network with them, and they can give you some other contacts. You kind of build your network, so you understand what are the things that you need to fine tune, if you will. And then you also get guidance from others who are very willing to help you. So that's how it has helped me.
Very good. Thank you for that. The next question it says, what has been your personal experience as it pertains to access to cultural and religious activities in the Corning Valley?
Within Corning Valley, there are a lot of activities in terms of, so, we always celebrate every, pretty much most of the cultural festivals. For example, there's Chinese New Year, it's very big. And there are a lot of events, both sponsored by ERGs within Corning, but also outside. There's a local community that organizes these events, so where you can go and learn about a new culture. Also religious events, like if you looked at the strategy when we talked about earlier on who are your stakeholders, local community is also a stakeholder. So you kind of do it both ways. So you also reach out to different religious groups and the events that they are planning. You kind of either co-sponsor or work with them to help raise that awareness, but also bring that to connect the people in Corning to the community, so you can you can get yourself associated with not only like-minded people, but also join certain local groups that you can then you can do it outside your work as a volunteering event, or you can also if it's your own cultural group or religious group, you can bring the awareness to Corning and educate others, but also participate and grow the awareness.
All right. The next question is, what is the current membership? Is it global or is it more centrally located?
Good question. We have been trying to expand our membership across the globe, and the having members, the challenge is to make sure that everyone is interactive. So all these cultural events and other events that we hold are all like in person, right? You need that interaction. So we have a small chapter in North Carolina. Even within US, there was a majority of the members were in the Corning Valley a decade ago, right? And then we were trying to expand in local locations within the country. And we also expand out to other regions as well, even though the participation level is low. But we're not the only ERG. There are multiple other ERGs that are more relevant in some cases. For example, for China, there's the Chinese Association is very active, right? And we do have members, and they participate in some of the events, like training events that you can take online. But our participation level, or in terms of membership level, it's mainly within the U.S., and we're expanding across the globe every year. Right? We do have presence there, but it's not as much as we would like to.
Thank you for for that answer, Prakash. Next question is, do you participate in global events, or is it only with local chapters in the local community?
Yes, it's mostly local chapters within local community. We do, hold some events, which is like, for example, a ERG conference where all the ERGs would actually come and participate. We try to bring folks from, other chapters within the country, but there are also some folks try to, a lot of people travel back and forth across regions um, for work many times, right? Sometimes we try to see if there's any synergy where people can travel for work during that time so they can come and participate. But it's not something that you can just justify just for that trip. But there have been participation. I mean, for international leaders, right? We try to utilize their travel schedule to arrange for events like panel discussions or dialogue with international leaders. So when they are traveling, they are coming from a different region, geographical region, and we get exposed and get access to those leaders, which we typically wouldn't, right, in person.
Awesome. Hey, Prakash, do you guys like what type of outreach have you guys done in the local community?
So we work with the there's a Tour de Cuca event. It's a very big event. It happens every year in June, except for this year. It's for helping the food bank of Southern Tier, right? So we raise money. There are it's basically you sponsor a bicycle team. People ride across the lake, and I believe it's like 100 miles or something. I've never participated, but I've volunteered. We also work with some local organization like United Way to conduct some special events to raise money, and which is actually goes to the local communities, various communities. United Way, as you all know, does a very good job in the local community. And we also try to help, through other ERGs, if there is any specific needs that, we collaborate together and either participate in some other ERG that are holding these kinds of events to help the local community, or we jointly go and host something based on the needs that we see in the local community.
Outstanding.
Yeah, for example, I just want to add a little bit on there.
Okay.
There are some golf events that people organize for fundraising, right, for various local groups, and that's one way where we can sponsor a team or a few teams, and then help raise funding for those good causes.
Very cool. Maybe one day you'll be able to build up the courage to participate in the Tour de Cuca.
Yes, someday. Yes, I'm not getting younger, so I wouldn't hold my breath on that.
There you go. Well, it doesn't look like we have any additional questions, and we're actually coming up on the half-hour mark, so we'll give them just a one more minute to see if anyone else has any questions. If not, we'll close out the session.
Okay.
I think Lynn joined in too, by the way.
Oh, okay. Hey, Lynn.
All right, it doesn't look like we have any other questions coming through via the chat. So, again, Prakash, thank you so much for taking some time out of your busy day, obviously, to help us with this presentation. It was a really informative presentation. Guys, for those of you on the call, if you have friends who or associates who wanted to attend but couldn't, this recording will be available by the end of the week. You guys will be able to access it and watch it on demand. And again, just want to thank you once again, Prakash, for your time. Thank you to everyone who participated in the call this morning. And I hope you all have a good start to your week. Thank you.
Thank you. It was my pleasure, and thanks for having me and giving me the opportunity to come and talk. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye, everyone. Stay safe.
Bye, guys.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.